want to show you some pictures tonight that might end up telling a very big story in the months and years to come. Could this be Anthony Albanese signing away his Prime Ministership within 1 month of being elected? Could this be Albanese signing his own political death warrant? I'll explain all that in a moment, because tonight the people of Australia's largest city of Sydney and across the largest state of New South Wales are again being warned to conserve energy, lest the demand exposes a lack of reliable electricity and plunges some areas into blackouts, or greenouts, as I reckon they should be called. Yet the energy crisis continues, and this plea to conserve energy is happening in the very same city that's currently hosting the Vivid Festival. I mean, here it is, the Vivid Festival, the Festival of Light, the extravaganza put on to attract people into the city. They come in on electric trains and electric trams, of course, and they watch the wizardry of lights powered by electricity. This has always amused me because Sydney is also the city that started Earth Hour. Sydney, like the rest of the world, I suppose, is hypocritical and superficial on climate and energy. It loves the virtue signalling, the sanctimonious nonsense of Earth Hour, switching off lights in a demonstration of climate change wokeness, pretending to save energy. Yet this is the same city that also gives us one of the world's largest and most famous fireworks displays every New Year's Eve. Yeah, fireworks to ring in the new year, then Earth Hour to shun electricity and save the planet in March. And then by June, we're back into the bells and whistles of the electricity-powered Vivid light display. I mean, it's as illogical and paradoxical as all that, which is so typical of the climate and energy debate. And this year, people heading off to the Vivid Festival were being advised not to be using any unnecessary electricity before they left home.
So what we want to see is if there is an opportunity for people to reduce their energy usage, so perhaps not using the dishwasher until you go to bed, that would help.
What a farce. A first world energy-rich nation pleading for people not to use electricity. But the light show goes ahead.
We were advised by the Australian energy market operator that we didn't need to take steps to turn off Vivid. We know that Vivid puts minimal pressure on the electricity system because we use LED lights and energy efficient lights.
Good lights at Vivid, bad electricity being used in your house to clean your dishes. At the same time, the Prime Minister today has warned that he can't rule out this load shedding, these periods without electricity, these greenouts. He can't rule them out right across the East Coast, Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria and South Australia over the rest of this winter.
What we are doing is working with IEMO. We're working with the energy operators to make sure that we avoid that happening. That's why you saw the intervention yesterday, which is there. We understand, though, that you've got to be straight with people as well.
What a joke. A country with enough coal and gas to last us for centuries, the envy of the world when it comes to those energy sources, and with enough uranium actually to power the world for centuries. Yet we've pushed so hard and fast into renewable energy, unreliable renewable energy, that we've got ourselves a broken national electricity system that's unable to keep up with supplies. And the new Labor government's plan to fix this? Well, it's to double down on more renewables.
The problem is there hasn't been enough investment in renewable energy.
Yeah, let's get some more investment in renewable energy. More of the same, hey? That'll fix it. But as if that's not bad enough, listen to how this minister seems to be living in a world of make-believe.
Yes, you can say the wind doesn't always blow and the sun doesn't always shine. Well, the rain doesn't always fall either, but we manage to store the water. We can store the renewable energy if we have the investment.
Chris Bowen thinks we can store renewable energy if He has the answer to storing renewable energy. He should get the Nobel Prize in physics and for world peace. Energy storage is the holy grail of the global renewable energy challenge. If we could store enough energy long enough, the problem would be solved. But batteries can't do the job, and they're too expensive for all but relatively minor roles. And the best form of storage, dams and pumped hydro, well, they're incredibly expensive and completely impractical in many areas. So current technology just doesn't give us sufficient or plausible energy storage. That's the whole problem with this issue around the world. So Bowen should stop pretending. You can't pretend away reality. That's how we got into this mess. We need dispatchable power. We always will. Which brings me to that signing ceremony I showed you at the top of the program. This is Anthony Albanese and Chris Bowen signing a document to increase Australia's emissions reduction target and possibly condemn them to political failure. Signed and sealed in front of business, union and political urges, this letter to the United Nations says that instead of promising to deliver cuts of at least 26% by 2030, we will cut emissions by 43% over the next 8 years. So that's it. Rather than ensure that you have enough electricity, that there are no greenouts in your suburb and that your electricity is available and affordable, Albanese and Bowen, in the middle of an energy crisis, have bowed to the UN and promised to cut our emissions by even more. It reminds me of when Julia Gillard signed a formal agreement with Bob Brown and the Greens in 2010, a deal that promised to save the planet and deliver good governance, but gave us that broken carbon tax promise and destroyed Gillard's prime ministership. Now Albanese, within a month of becoming Prime Minister, in the middle of an energy crisis, when you're feeling the pain of high prices and inflation, when power prices are going up, when we face an electricity crisis, he chooses this time to double down on the very emissions reductions goals that have created this mess. The political timing is unthinkable. When the government should be ruthlessly focused on the cost of living and weathering the looming economic storm, Albanese has signed a deal to prioritise climate gestures ahead of energy security. Good luck explaining this promise, explaining this signing ceremony in coming months and years as our energy crisis deepens.